Hi everyone. I thought I'd give a bit of an update and a rundown of what happened in my sandbox in Phuket. The sandbox probably isn't being used much anymore, but I thought I'd give an idea of how it worked out for me. I found it was easy to do. I did it at the Novotel at Carmela Beach, and it was quite simple to do. It was well looked after. It's a comfortable, easy place to stay in. It's a good resort. You could move around easily, and you can even move around easily around Phuket as well. So that wasn't a major problem. Probably the only downside is that you did have to spend 7 days, which is a long time, but I treated it as being like just a holiday, a resort holiday. I'm mainly here to tour around and see all different parts of Thailand and not necessarily just in resorts. The PCR test itself was great. I had it at the airport, and then it was organised 4 days later afterwards. And I just booked a taxi from the Novotel. The driver took me there, escorted me through, showed me where to go, waited for me and brought me back. So that was simple as well. So the place had room service, everything set up really well. So my sandbox experience was pretty good. There is a lot of negativity around having the sandbox, but I think at the time as well, it was essential to have, as naturally Thai people and the Thai government want to be safe. They want to reduce the amount of illness as much as they can. And if you get to stay in a place that's really paradise, I mean, you're not locked up and you're not forced into anything. You just have to comply with a couple of things. PCR test, stay on the island. It's not that hard to stay on the island when it's Phuket. So I think overall my experience was great. You probably won't have to do that anymore, but if it does come back, I don't see it as a really major problem. I think moving forward, from what I've seen, we're heading towards the end phase of all of this, but you can never be 100% sure. But if it does go back into being a sandbox situation, I wouldn't hesitate to do it again, especially if you're long-term travelling. For the small holiday, there is a bigger risk. There's a huge risk involved that if you do end up being positive, it can wreck your holiday. But if you're long-term travelling, I didn't see the sandbox as too much of a risk or a problem. It worked out well for me. I was lucky. And I believe most people have been lucky. There have been instances that I've heard where it hasn't been. But everything in life has an element of risk. So, yeah. So hopefully you get a chance to get out here and have a look around Thailand, because it's well worth looking at. And please like and subscribe to catch up with all my next adventures. I'll be heading off to Bangkok next. Thank you, guys. See you in the next one.